Hi, I'm Justin McLeod, Community Relations Coordinator for Roanoke City Public Schools. This month, we'll tell you how our summer enrichment program, RCPS Plus, is celebrating a major milestone, and how the school system is embracing the Farm to School initiative. That and a whole lot more in this month's show.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. You look ridiculous.
Dude, where'd you get that shirt, Goodwill?
I did, actually. I like it. Don't you have something better to do?
We just wrapped up another successful year of our summer enrichment program, RCPS Plus, and here to talk about it is our K-5 director, Greg Johnston. Yes. This was the 5th year for the program, a major milestone in many ways, right?
It was 5 years, and get better each and every year. It's been great.
And remind folks, I know it's been around for 5 years, but if you're hearing about it for the first time, what is RCPS Plus?
Well, RCPS Plus is an enrichment program, and over 5 years ago, we looked at our summer programs, and the traditional summer school was not working the way that we wanted it to. It was more of a remedial program, and we were looking at maintaining the skills that the children had worked on throughout the year and sustaining those, but also having an enrichment part to it.
When you say enrichment, I know one of the projects that really got a lot of attention, had the kids excited, was the extracting of the DNA, strawberry DNA.
Strawberry DNA, yes.
Talk about why it was important to incorporate a lot of what we know as STEAM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and arts.
Well, you know, the way that our country and the world is going is the STEM focus, but we add A to it, the arts part, to make it STEAM. And the Reading by Design was our theme for this year. The Strawberry DNA was kind of a play on the Reading by Design. It was Me by Design. So we talked about DNA and how every living thing is made up of DNA. And the children had a wonderful time with it. It was a great opportunity, but it also allows us to read about it, to write about it, to discuss the information, but really talk about how each and every one of us is special.
And this really, the projects encourage critical thinking. Like,
yes.
For example, I know the cups thing was sort of something, maybe a good example of that. It's just not, here are cups, build some walls. You sort of encourage the students to work as a team, maybe explain how that works.
We do. And you know, a lot of times children are waiting for the teacher to give them the answer. And one thing that we're encouraging them to do is to have, first of all, to work together as a team, collaboratively. Secondly, we want them to think critically. And then thirdly, we want them to problem solve. So when they're going to create the cups and create a design, and it could be a formation, could be a building, could be a variety of things, there isn't a given answer to the problem, and they have to work together to they have a problem, they have to work out a solution or create something in this case.
The activities seem to be so fun, and the kids, you could see it on their faces. Is it they're not even realizing they're learning in many ways?
No. You know, one of the greatest successes that we've had with RCPS Plus is that we've been able to do a lot of things in a different way that incorporates the reading, the math, the science, and the writing. The children are learning, but they're learning through exploration. They're learning through taking chances and that problem-solving, critical thinking. And they view it sometimes as, not even as a game, but just a wonderful project, but they've learned more than they ever imagined.
I know community partnerships was really a big support system for the program. I think about the Roanoke City Libraries, right. Mill Mountain Theater, the YMCA, and the pools. Talk about why it's important for our students to sort of get on a bus and go somewhere during this program as well.
Many of our students within our district, which is an urban district, do not have opportunities that many children have. And one thing that we really take for granted is that many of our students don't even have an opportunity to go beyond their neighborhood. And so we're trying to show them what Roanoke has to offer, but also to support our local facilities and our local programs to make sure that, first of all, the children know about it, our teachers know about it, and staff, and along with the parents. And so it's just really to promote what we have in Roanoke.
I actually witnessed several trips to the pool. It's amazing to me how happy the students were being in the pool, and some of them didn't really know how to swim, but they learned swim safety. And you know, some people may say that, well, that's not really part of what school's all about, but in many ways that's what school is about these days, to teach them beyond what maybe they learn in the classroom.
Correct, and our absolute #1 priority is keeping our children safe. And so during the summertime, one thing that we want to make sure that how we keep them safe is, first of all, that we feed them with our program, which is fed breakfast and lunch. Secondly, we want to make sure that they understand that water can be fun and you can have a great time in it, but it also can be very dangerous, and so that's why we want to promote the safety. The children have had a wonderful response. You know, those are days where you don't have a whole lot of absenteeism on that day because they want to get out, and the weather's been great because it's been so hot this summer. The children have loved it.
This was the first year we included rising kindergartners. Yes. Were you surprised by the turnout? It
was a great turnout. You know, we have over 500 students in our VPI preschool program, and we had just a little over 300 sign up for this program, and we're viewing it, and their curriculum was a little bit different, but we wanted to make sure we had a proper jump start to the kindergarten instruction. So yeah, it was a great turnout.
This program, maybe share with folks how unique it is. I mean, can you think of any other school system in Virginia that has a summer enrichment program that's essentially free?
No, not a single one. You know, we meet several people throughout the state, and I have not heard of anyone else that has a program like RCPS Plus.
5 years in the can. Where do you see this program going from years to come? I mean, it's working, so.
It is working well, and I think the greatest thing from year 1 to year 5, we've learned so much on how to do this better. We've had great resources within our community, but I think we've also changed a little bit about what we're doing with the STEAM piece, to where we've added a lot more technology than what we've had in the past, and we've been very fortunate with the grants that we have received through the state of Virginia, but also the great support from our Roanoke City School Board.
And you mentioned technology. I should have mentioned coding is a huge part of this. Computer coding. Seeing those kids, they're like little Star Wars robots, yes. But they just pick it up. I mean, they're like sponges in many ways compared to what maybe you and I.
Correct, and we've had an opportunity to do a variety of coding, because there's different types of coding to where you can write with a marker and create lines, and the little robot will follow it and go certain directions based on the color of the line. You have coding to where you have to actually lay down physical blocks, and then you have coding that's on the computer where you would push the button and then drag it, drag and click, excuse me.
Okay, well, it's all interesting, and we've certainly talked a lot about RCPS Plus as a program overall in the elementary. When we come back, we'll be joined by someone who will talk about RCPS Plus at the middle school level, so we'll be right back.
What's up, punk? Send those books home for. They ain't gonna help you on the streets.
To study?
Yeah, man, you need Jordan Crew, aka the Cobra.
Yeah, ain't nobody messing with the Cobra.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to go to college.
Nah, man. I mean, we're just having some fun. Nobody in our gang gets caught anyway.
Well, I guess sure.
All right. Hey, look, Henry. If you're gonna keep rolling with us, you gotta prove to me that you can hang.
Okay.
All right, then. Go.
Henry, what are you doing?
Every year, over 7,000 arrests result from gang activity. You could end up just like these criminals. Is that what you want?
Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution.
Joining us now is Julie Drury. She's the Executive Director for School Improvement. You oversaw the middle school portion of RCPS Plus. I would imagine it was much of what we saw in the elementary, but kind of advanced in many ways. A lot of critical thinking, right? Talk about what we saw.
A lot more advanced math. Students are really getting more algebra. They're reading more advanced novels and trying to put those into use. You know, they're looking at how they can interpret things at a higher level.
Why, in your mind, is it so important, like if you're a rising sixth grader, to be part of this program? And I guess the whole point is for each of those students to get ready for the next school year. Do you actually see proof that that's happening?
We do. We actually look through our tests the year before and see which SOLs were the weakest, and then we focus on those in the enrichment program over the summer so that students are able to get ahead even. In math, we knew that they had trouble with subsets. We knew that they had trouble with polygons. So that was a major focus this year, where they were learning about them, but they were also drawing them and creating with them. And so hopefully they'll make those connections later on when they actually work with them more in the classroom.
Talk about the students' perceptions of the program at the beginning. They're probably thinking, oh, I got to go here during the summer. But as time goes on, I mean, they're just as engaged as the students in the elementary level.
Oh my gosh, yes. And in fact, you see the kids wanting to come back year after year and more excited as we've built the enthusiasm for the program.
But as you also understanding, these are middle school students. So for example, they have to be more engaging, like a stream school, for example. I mean, they actually leave the school, walk down the hill, and get in the water at Fishburne Park. And why is that important, to sort of get in many ways, your hands wet rather than your feet, although I'm sure their feet got wet too?
I'm sure they did. Well, it helps them to understand more about what's going on in the world around them. They understand more when we're talking about global temperature changes and global climate changes. They can actually see the health of a stream by taking a seining net and picking up all the critters in the creek and seeing how many things have changed over time, because they're looking at data that's been collected year after year after year, and they can see, oh, well, there's fewer crawdads now. So what does that mean? It's interesting that way.
And it's not the same just reading in a textbook, right?
No, because you can count one by one with that seining net, or you can read about it. I'd rather see the critters myself and be able to play with them and touch them and see how it looks in the creek and how they're pulling out the animals and actually getting the real world that's out there, instead of saying, well, what does this look like in a textbook, and what does this all mean?
It's always interesting to watch the students who are brave enough to pick up the critters and those who run the other direction. Mm-hmm. I probably would have been the one who ran the other direction when I was their age, so we're not criticizing. Let's talk about 555 and the popularity of that program. It's been around for years, even before our CPS Plus, but these are rising sixth graders, or essentially fifth graders, who go to our Career and Technical Education Center, which is ROTEC, and they learn 5 careers over 5 days. Talk about sort of the things that they're given a taste of.
Well, this year they recreated the Police Academy obstacle course. And so the students actually got to run through the obstacle course and feel what it's like to be in the police academy for a day. We also took them to the Jefferson College of Health Sciences so they could look at and see what a medical student does, because a lot of them think, hey, I'd like to go to college and be a doctor or a nurse, and so they can actually see what they do in order to prepare for that career. The culinary arts kids have a great time. They make their lunch and they eat it, and that's something that a lot of kids don't understand, that you have to learn how to be a chef. You don't just necessarily pick it up watching your mom. And they learn about all the programs that we have at ROTEC and what's available to them in the future, and how they can really take one of those careers and make it their own. And
why is it important at that age to sort of start thinking about careers? I think most people think, well, you should wait till you're high school, right?
No, because it gives you a reason to be in school. And when you're saying, what am I going to use this stuff for? You can say, oh yeah, remember when you were in 555, you learned about how much you needed to understand math in order to really be a successful chef, or you needed to learn more about science so that you can be a successful doctor or nurse or EMT.
As you look back on the program for 5 years at the middle school level, I mean, it's only grown and probably will only get better in your mind?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the teachers are excited about it. The students are excited about it. I think the parents are grateful that we have it, and the kids are so engaged over the summer.
And when you say the parents are grateful, I mean, our biggest supporters, I know whenever we have something on Facebook, is the parents saying how much they appreciate when their kids are coming or their students coming home. They just rave about the program. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've been in education a long time, Julie. Have you ever seen a program this unique making such a difference?
No.
It is.
Yeah. No, I mean, these people, the teachers that are working it are really able to think outside of the box and do some really creative things with students that they wouldn't get to do during the school year. And so the kids are able to take a more hands-on approach. They're able to really do science, do math. One of the other things that they're doing with combining reading and the arts is they're looking at, students are writing their own lyrics to songs, and they're creating their own songs. They're putting scores to short video clips, and they're able to interpret these things, and it's making the words on the page come alive to them. So they don't get to do that. We don't have that much time during the regular school year to really be that creative. And it's just remarkable what they can do over the summer.
It's a great program, and if you need any more information or convinced, just ask a student who's in it. They're probably the best ones, the best spokespeople for the program. So congratulations on another great year, and thanks for joining us. Okay. All right, we'll be right back.
There's a myth out there that somebody who's using drugs is engaged in a selfish habit, that they're not hurting anybody, and I can say that's not true at all. Every drug user has somebody that they've hurt, that they've not been there for because they're under the influence, or they're using their time and money to obtain drugs. I see a lot of people in the probation office who steal from family members, steal from friends and businesses, so I can truly say that a drug addiction and drug habit hurts everybody.
Attention kids, Roanoke's Recycling Heroes need your help. Join the Single Stream Recycling Team and rescue your family, friends, and neighbors from recycling trouble. Recycling Heroes always put these items in their blue cart.
Mail, magazine, and newspaper. Flattened cardboard. Cereal boxes and tissue boxes. Aluminum and metal cans. Plastic tubs and containers. Plastic jugs and bottles. Glass jars and bottles. Cardboard milk cartons and juice boxes.
Recycling Heroes never put these items in their blue cart.
No food waste. No styrofoam. No plastic bags and packing material. No cords, hoses, or wires.
Become a part of the Single Stream Recycling Team.
Real Heroes Recycle!
you know that it takes 12 to 20 years for a cigarette butt to decompose? Cigarette butts thrown on the ground or out the window are litter, and most wash into our waterways, polluting streams and harming stream life. Cigarette butts can also be a fire hazard. Extinguish cigarette butts in ash cans and ashtrays. Litter is preventable, so remember, no ifs, ands, or buts. Don't litter.
Farm to school, it's a term that we're hearing quite a bit these days, and here to talk about it is Ellen Craddock. She is our Director of Food Services. Thanks for joining us today. It sounds pretty simple, but why don't you explain what farm to school means?
Well, it means that we're trying to get food directly from our local farms right in front of our students on their lunch tray.
And why do you think that's important?
Well, it's really important not only for students to have the opportunity to learn about where food comes from and how it's grown, but also that we're supporting our local economy.
You recently held an event during RCPS Plus to sort of, promote some of the local farms. Talk about what you did.
Sure. During RCPS Plus at Roanoke Academy, the students had the opportunity to participate in our A to Z salad bar. And we had produce from local farms like Lehman Family Farms in Botetourt, squash, tomatoes. We had some hydroponic lettuce from a farm locally here in Franklin County. And we also had some peaches. And the kids were really excited to try these food items. And when we talked to them, they didn't realize that the peaches came from trees right here in the Roanoke Valley.
And talk about, in terms of the local produce that we have in our cafeterias, is it all local or just some local, or you sort of have a little bit of everything?
A little bit of both. We serve so many students that it's hard to get everything locally, but we try to purchase as much as we can from the farms right here in the Roanoke Valley area.
From a taste standpoint, is it different that it's local?
You know, they say fresh is always best, and so since it's here locally, it's picked and served in a closer time frame than having to be picked all the way in the West Coast and shipped all the way across here to the East Coast.
What's the reaction from the students when they try some of these local produce? I mean, this is often something that they maybe are trying for the first time, a particular fruit or vegetable. You know, I remember when we were a kid, you kind of thumb your nose at it, but then you give it a try and, you know, maybe you're pleasantly surprised. Is that what we're seeing even today with kids?
That's definitely what we saw. Some of them, you're like, oh yeah, we'll try the cucumbers and we'll try the peaches. But they were a little skeptical to try the lettuce or the squash at first, but they did, and they were pleasantly surprised.
The farm to school, the buzzword right now, do you see this expanding, and if so, how, or are we essentially doing what we've always been doing but just promoting it more?
Yeah, you nailed it. We've always really worked with our local distributor, Roanoke Fruit and Produce, to bring in local items from local farms. But we've never featured it, and we've never shared our story with our students. So now we're really working to help educate our students and our community about what we're purchasing from our local farmers.
From a nutrition standpoint, I mean, let's face it, kids want to eat at McDonald's. You know, they want to do that all the time. But, you know, why is it so important to eat fresh fruits and vegetables?
Well, it's really important for the kids to learn about the importance of eating fruits and vegetables. And that should really take up the largest portion of their lunch tray, so that they'll get the vitamins and minerals and fiber they need to grow healthy. And we've really seen an increase over these past few years that we participated in the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Grant Program. The kids are really buying into eating their fruits and vegetables.
And it's essentially, though, the biggest hurdle is getting them to try it, correct? I mean, they may not like it, but you want them to at least try it.
Exactly. And so we try to challenge them to be part of the 2-Bite Club, where they try at least 2 bites of something.
That's probably smart. While we have you here, I know the school system recently won a pretty prestigious state award. Tell us, it's called the Food for Thought Award. What was that all about?
Sure. Over the past 2 years, we've been participating in an at-risk supper program. So last year, we offered a supper program in 9 schools. And this past year, we offered a supper program in 20 schools. So we served 98,000 suppers to 20 schools in the Roanoke City this past year. So we received some recognition for the opportunity to serve those students.
And I understand the governor and the First Lady were there. What was that like to be part of that when you accepted the award?
It was exciting to be with Dr. Bishop and the governor, who are working hard to address childhood hunger here in the Roanoke Valley.
As we approach the beginning of the next school year, any major changes coming to the menus of what the students can expect this year?
Still continuing to advocate our fruits and our vegetables, and continuing to grow our supper program for our students.
Okay, well, we look forward to trying new things, right?
Right.
Well, thanks, Ellen, for joining us. We really appreciate it, and congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Okay, and we'll be right back.
Want to learn how to manage your money better, save for that car or dream home, or be able to bounce back from bad credit mistakes? Bank On Roanoke Valley can help. Bank On works with local banks, credit unions, and local governments to offer free classes at local libraries in our community. It's easy, free, and it's happening right where you live. Check out the calendar of classes or sign up at bankonrv.org or call 777-4200 for more information. Before we go, we want to mention some important dates for you. Our annual Back to School Extravaganza takes place Saturday, August 19th at William Fleming High School. We will give out school supplies, free school supplies, to any student enrolled in Roanoke City Public Schools. Also want to mention the first day of school is Tuesday, August 22nd. If you need school supply lists and other important information, that's all on our website at rcps.info. That's this month's show. We'll see you again soon.